Hey everybody! Happy Monday. Happy Monday, March 29th. The month is over. One more day. No. Are there 31? No. I think it's over. It's a beautiful day here in Kansas City. Windy as all get out, but we're used to that. Sun's shining and it's lovely temperatures. You might hear a mower in the background. I think one of my neighbors is mowing. It's that time of year again. If you're here, say hello. I'd love to talk to you, chat with you. Hi, Carol. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. It was Palm Sunday weekend. Next week is Easter. Wow. Then we're on the countdown to summer. Can't wait. I helped my husband clean we have a back porch, screened-in back porch, and our cushions for our furniture out there were looking a little, they were needing cleaned. Anyway, so we pulled those out yesterday and got the power washer out and really scrubbed off the cushions to get ready for spring and enjoy our time out there. We leave them out there all year because some days here in the Midwest it's really nice, and I do spend a lot of time out there on the porch. When the weather's mild, I've been known to take a quilt out there and sit. It's just a relaxing place to be. So we do leave our cushions out. They're kind of protected from the weather. They do get some water, but they are outdoor cushions, so not too bad. But we've had them a couple years and trying to get one more season out of them. So we cleaned those yesterday, and then we're here. And then Sunday's Easter, so kind of gearing up for that. Hi, Mom. Today we're going to make a fun little fun fold card, but I wanted to talk about, let me get my, the retiring items list. I have a link to it. I mean, it's a long list. And it's sometimes easier to see the retiring items if you just go to leslie.stampinup.net and click the Shop Now button, and there'll be a link to see all the retiring items. Otherwise, there is a link here on my Facebook page, a couple of posts down with a link to this long list, and it's by page number, so that sometimes helps too if you want to get your catalog out and see if there's anything you want to get before it's gone. A lot of things are discounted, and it's while supplies lasts only. So if there's something special that you wanted to get before our annual catalog retires at the end of May, you might want to look at that. Is that it? Yeah, that I talked about that, the last chance sale. And I'll put a link to that list here in the comments when I get done today as well, to make it easier for you to find. I wanted to talk to you about, I got some beautiful cards in the mail last week. It was my birthday last week. I got this cute little card from Susan Kopp. She's a fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She joins us here once in a while, and she mailed me this card with the Hey Chick dies. So I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then she stamped her background with that chicken wire stamp, which is retiring. In fact, I have that stamp coming on the way to me as we speak, because I do want to get that to go with all my chick stamps. And she even lined the back of the envelope, so that was adorable. Thank you, Susan, for that. And then I also got a beautiful birthday card. This was with using our varied vases, stamps, and punch. This is from a friend, Shelly Boone. She's joined my live classes before, and it was so nice of her to send me that card. I love it, Shelly. Thank you so much. And my husband gave me this card, and do you guys do this? I wanted to talk about how you find inspiration for creating your cards. I thought, I'm going to try and recreate this card. This is a Hallmark, and he paid way too much money for that, but he always tries to get me fancy cards because he knows I like to make fancy cards. I don't know if you can see, but the little flower is kind of glittery and everything. So I got to busy this weekend and kind of took the inspiration from the card that he gifted me and made this card. So I thought I did a pretty good job. I used the Painted Poppies dies, and I'm forgetting this embossing folder. It's called something lace, but it is retiring as well. So I thought I did a pretty good job copycatting that Hallmark card. And it probably didn't cost as much as he paid for. The paper involved didn't cost as much as what he spent on that card for me. But so that's always fun. I try and do that. And I apologize for my messy mat. I have, I think this is fingernail polish remover. I did my nails down here on Saturday. Okay, this is the card we are going to make. It's kind of a window card, but when you open it up, it's a fun fold. It's a Z fold. I've seen a couple of these online, and I thought I'm going to try and do this. So, thank you, Donna. Yeah, he always tries to get me a fancy card because he knows I do fancy cards. So it's kind of fun to see what he gets. The card we're going to make today is using the paper I'm using. The Designer Series paper is the Hydrangea Hill paper, and this is out of the Spring Mini. Hi, Kay. How are you? You get 12 pieces, so 2 of each print. They're front and back sided. It's really pretty spring colors. This is one of my favorites. These I am saving for scrapbooking because I'm going to cut them in half and put them at the bottom of my double page spread. And this is the print we're going to use today on our card. So, real pretty paper, perfect for this time of year. So we're going to start out with a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 inch basic white cardstock. And then I've also got a piece of 8.5 by 5 1/4 Highland Heather, and that's going to be our inside contraption. Hi, Kat, how are you? So let's do a little scoring. I'm going to use my scoring board, but you can use whatever you use for your scoring. You might use a trimmer. Our card base, we're going to score it at 4 1/4. And if you were with me last Wednesday, I shared this tip on getting your cards really nice and square. When you're using your scoreboard, fold this side over and shove it right in that corner so it's real tight. And then do your folding. And you're going to get a really nice squared corner. You won't have a little edge hanging over like I sometimes get when I'm not real careful. Then on our 5 1/4 by 8.5 inch piece of Highland Heather, we are going to score this at 4. This is going to be our Z fold for the inside of the card. We're going to score it at 4, and let me look at my little cheat sheet here. 6 1/4. We can put this away now. We're done with the scoring. Thank you, Kay. I don't know where I saw that tip, but it has really helped me since I started doing that, getting my cards squared up. Okay, so here's our little inside. It's just a Z fold. They call it a Z because it looks like a Z. We will put this on the inside of our card here in a minute. I'm going to do some die cutting first. And that's going to be our insert. So, but I'm going to set this aside right now because we're going to do the front first. And I am going to tape this down a minute because of that little fancy fold in the center. It has a tendency to just pop open. But I like you to see the finished product while I'm working on it. So I'm going to work on the front of the card first, and I'm taking a piece of 5 1/4 by 4-inch Highland Heather, and I'm going to adhere that to the card front. And I'm just using my Stamp and Seal adhesive. And then for my Designer Series paper layer, I just made that 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this one measures, oh, let me read this, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Normally I would do a 1/4 of an inch difference, but I wanted to show as much paper as I could because I love the paper. It's really pretty. I love these little bouquets of hydrangeas. Hydrangeas is maybe my favorite flower. Love them. Okay, so now we've got to make our little window here. And I'm going to use the layering circle dies. These are not retiring, thank goodness. I would die. I use these all the time. I just have to find the right one. I think it's this one. Yep, we're going to make a circle right in the middle of the card. Now we've got 3 layers here, so we want to, we'll probably have to run it through our machine a couple times. So I'm going to pull out my big machine here. And this is, I'm using my magnetic plate, so, but I probably will tape it just so it doesn't squirm on me. Just in case we have to run it through a few times. So I'm going to just kind of back and forth, and I apologize, it kind of shakes my desktop, because I've got 3 layers of paper there. I want to make sure I get it cut all the way through. And it looks like I did. And I picked up some gunk, but we'll get rid of that here in a sec. Grab my little eraser. Okay, so there is our little window in front. Gently take this tape off because I really put some pressure on it. Normally it would peel right off, but since I ran it through so many times, pretty stuck on there. Okay, now for the little frame that I've put here. Hi Susan, how are you? I just used the next size up scallop die. Actually, I think I went 2 sizes up. And I used that same circle die, so I layered them on a piece of the Highland Heather and ran it through the Big Shot or the die cutting machine. And it creates a frame like this. See how I did that? I just took a 2.5 by 2.5 inch piece of the Highland Heather cardstock, ran it through, and you end up with the little frame. So I'm going to glue that on there. And I'm just going to use a little multi-purpose liquid glue for that. Susan, if you were late, if you were here at the beginning, I was showing off that beautiful card you sent me over the weekend. Thank you so much for that card. It is so cute. I love it. So there's our little frame. I framed out the little circle. It just kind of finishes it out a little bit, right? Now we're going to put on our inside. So there's the V or the Z fold we made. We scored this at 4 and then this at 6 1/4, and we folded them opposite like that. And we're going to adhere this to the inside of the card, just this back piece. It's super cute. I love those little corn stalks and everything. I'm so glad I got those. And I might just case that card that you made. Okay, then on my sample, I forgot to cut this. I just realized, but we'll do that real quick. I took some DSP here, and this measures, I did it 1/8 of an inch smaller than this panel. Grab my ruler. It measures 2 1/8 by 5 1/8. Carol says it's so funny. She just made this fun fold card. Did you see this on the? I've just been seeing this around, so I thought I have got to give this a try. So I'm going to take a scrap of my DSP. I might have to cut into a new piece. Do you ever hate doing that? If I have a scrap, I'd rather use my scrap. But I think I have to cut into a new piece, which is okay. My goal when I buy designer series paper is to use it up. It doesn't do anybody any good in the closet or wherever you keep yours. Hi, Loopy. How are you? Let me measure that again. It was 2 1/8 by 5 1/8. Measure twice, cut once, right? And you always want to pay attention to the direction of your cardstock. How many of you have cut your cardstock and the direction was wrong and your flowers were going sideways? I have done that a lot because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, wow, I'm on the big screen. That's a little scary. Susan has put me on YouTube on her television. My husband and I do that. When our church was meeting online, which they still meet online if you want to watch it online, that's how we went to church. We just put it on our TV. It was on YouTube, so it's kind of fun. I just love those little bouquets of flowers. So there's our little inside fold. Now we have to make our little peekaboo for the window. So for that, I took a scrap of, actually it's 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. We're going to fill that window. We're going to cut it out with the dies. And the stamp I'm using is from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set. I liked the May Good Things Grow All Year Long. Since we had flowers on there, I thought that was a cute sentiment to put on there. And I love that stamp set with the coordinating punch. And I'm just using some black, Tuxedo Black Memento ink for my sentiment. And we're going to cut that out with that same circle die. It's going to be the same size as our window, but we're going to prop it up on a scallop circle. And for this one, I can use my little mini here. I just love my die cutting. There we go. And then I went ahead and I used the same scallop die that we used for our frame. And I cut out the scallop circle from Rococo Rose, that color of these hydrangeas. These are Highland Heather, Rococo Rose, and Misty Moonlight Blue. So I drew the colors from the flowers in the paper. The insert, this is 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, Kat. Kat asked how wide is the purple cardstock. So it's 5 1/4 inches tall and 8 1/2 inches wide. And then I scored it at 4 and 6 1/4 to make the folds. Then I will have all this up on my blog later today too, so you can check back there if you forget. Okay, so now we're going to figure out where we're going to put this. That was the hardest part, was just getting it right where I need it to be, which is right there. So I just held it in place and use some multi-purpose liquid glue and just kind of stuck it under there, because once I had it where I wanted it, I didn't want it to move. And once that glue dries, that is not going anywhere. I love this glue. It's my favorite liquid glue. Okay, so there we go. There's our little window. You open it, and then you open it like this. And then I did one more thing in the inside. I went ahead and stamped the little, I think they're supposed to be dragonflies, a little swarm of dragonflies. They could be butterflies though, who knows? Who would know? But it is the image from, one of the images from the Dragonfly Garden set. So I took that with some Highland Heather, ink, a little something on there, and I just kind of put them flying up here at the top and down at the bottom, and then I'll write my greeting right here in the middle, or if I decide to stamp a happy birthday or something like that, I can do that as well when I decide what occasion I would like to use this card for. Okay, then for the little flowers up front, they were really fun to make. I'm going to use my bone folder and really crease these folds. Hi, Kathy. How are you? There, that one's going to stay closed better. Okay, for the little flowers, I just took a scrap of vellum. This is a trick I like to do a lot. I do this a lot. And I use my Stampin' Blends. And I took the dark Highland Heather and the dark Rococo Rose. Because they're alcohol markers, they're going to dry pretty quickly. And I just colored on the vellum. I think I might have used the lighter one on my sample, but I kind of like this darker one. It takes a second to dry on the vellum, but not too long. Oh, that baby sure is darling. Kathy just had her first grandbaby. Okay, I'm using I want to get the name of this correct. The Small Bloom Punch. It is retiring as well. I don't know if it's discounted, but I think it is. Let me look real quick for you. I'd love to grab a punch that's discounted especially. Well, maybe it's not. No, I thought it was retiring. But maybe it's not. Don't you love it when I don't know what I'm talking about? The Small Bloom Punch. I don't think it is retiring, ladies. Awesome. I do use it a lot. Okay, so never mind. Anyway, I color on my vellum, and then I'm going to punch out 3 flowers. And now my little flowers coordinate with my card. And then I took my piercing mat, paper piercing mat. You could also use, so you do have that it's retiring. I wonder why it's not on my list. I have an edited list, so it is retiring. Do you show that it's reduced? It's on sale, Carol? That's what we all want to know. See how I'm very gently taking my stylus and pushing in the center of my little vellum flowers? You can poke a hole in these. Ask me how I know. So don't get too crazy, but this just kind of makes them a little three-dimensional. Like I said, I'm using my paper piercing mat. You could also use any soft surface, mouse pad or anything like that. And then I'm going to take $10.40. Is it discounted or is that the regular price? I wonder why it wasn't on my list. I'm going to have to check my list when I get off here, y'all. Make sure it's correct. I probably just didn't see it. I'm using mini glue dots to put my little flowers at the bottom of the frame. Yeah, it is on discount. It used to be $13, that Small Bloom Punch. So you get a little bit of a discount off of it if it's only $10.40. Thank you, Carol, for looking that up for me. Okay, then you can take your little what happened to my U-pick tool? I'll just use my stylus. Raise up these petals a little bit. They're going to get mashed down in the mail if you mail your card. And then the last thing I did is put the pearls on. Pastel pearls. I love these. And they were the perfect color for this project. So now I really want my U-pick tool because it's so much easier. Oh, here we go. Sunk down in my, there's pink and purple and blue and dark purple. I love them. And there we go. There's our flower center. Kathy said someone took all of their blue paint samples last weekend. She works at Menards. Kathy does. So they use them for dyes and punches. That's hysterical. People cut out, they have the perfect color. That's hysterical. That's our card, girls. Thank you for joining me. There's our little fun fold in the middle. And like I said, I'll have all the information up on my blog later with the cutting and scoring and all the things. A replay of this video. So if you'd like to try and make one of these yourselves, you can hop over there and get all of the info there. theplaidpoodle.com. Y'all have a great afternoon. I will see you Wednesday for Coffee and a Card. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.